Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west.
Cowboy Bebop. Let's talk about it.
Let's
do it.
Okay. Let's break it down more than what we did before.
You start. I'll start. What? I think the wages of a dumb idea is friction. Are friction? Is friction plural?
I don't know.
Friction in this case is singular, right? It's a force.
Yeah, I think so.
You do something that nobody wanted.
Yeah.
That before, it could be good, could be bad. We haven't even seen it yet.
No.
But you do something that nobody asked for.
Right.
And people are going to go, why are you doing this?
Yeah, and have strong opinions.
Yeah, and then those opinions themselves can be constructive or destructive criticism.
Correct.
Of which we've provided some criticism. Hopefully it's been constructive.
Yes.
But people in bad faith are going in really hard on the Cowboy Bebop Netflix show after the pictures were released recently. And I guess that's just to be expected. If you're Netflix, if you're the people who are, making or starring in the show, you're all getting paid.
Right.
It'd be great if it was a nice feather in your cap because it was good, but it's just work, right? You're just doing it. So you don't really need to care either way. But the stars' reaction to the negative comments has been not great.
Right.
And since I don't know the names of the negative commenters and I can't reach them.
Yeah, right, because
I can only explore my parasocial relationship with the famous people who are going to be in the show by saying, why not say nothing?
Yeah, just ignore them.
Use
they don't exist.
The Jim Gaffigan method. Not his name, but I don't remember his name and I don't really care. What they should have said was nothing.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And so you've got people criticizing John Cho for being 47 or whatever, which he can't help.
Right.
But I've never really worried about whether Spike is old or young. He's an old soul, certainly.
Right.
And he needs to be old enough to have, an entire life that he's lived before he joins the crew of the Bebop. But whatever, John Cho looks young and he's got kung fu abs, so good to go, right? But people are really coming after him for being old. His response, at least in one market, in one outlet, was the most head injury, rambly bullshit that I ever, and also self-deprecating kind of bullshit that I ever heard. Mm-hmm. Don't attack the fans, I guess, but at the same time, just say you're gonna love it when you see it.
Right.
We know what we're doing.
Right.
Trust us.
Exactly.
But instead he's like, well, I am pretty old. I didn't know if I could do it. Boy, I've tried to do it. Hopefully we've done a thing. It's kicked my ass, but I really got into the thing and I loved it. Once I watched the show after I accepted the job. I don't know, whatever.
I know.
Look, he's rich. He doesn't have time to watch anime. So that's weird. Then there's the response by Daniela Pineda to people's criticisms of her. A real ass flesh and blood sexy woman being compared to a line drawing and instead of just not saying anything or just saying you're gonna like it, you're gonna like it, you'll see my boobs or whatever. No, not that.
Don't say that.
Well, no. whatever but instead she's like, oh, sorry that I'm not 11 feet tall and have a size 2 waist and double D boobs. They tried. Netflix tried. They looked for somebody. They tried to go back in time and give me sexier parents, but it didn't work.
That's
it's just
completely unnecessary.
It's not. So now we have a situation where it's like the Beastie Boys, right? The Beastie Boys, one of their first big tours was with Madonna. And
That's
I don't know how that
very weird.
I don't know how that got set up, but I think Madonna was trying to, she's always doing different things, especially in the early or late 80s and early 90s. Mm-hmm. And so I think she was just trying to expand her appeal. And I think that she just liked the Beastie Boys. She liked what they were doing. A lot of people did. Yeah. But the fans that come to see Madonna, I don't think this was Blonde Ambition. I think this is the one right before. Hated them.
Yeah,
Who are these guys in like these bucket hats, you know,
Who are
with
being
inflatable
obnoxious.
penises.
Yeah, right.
And they're just fighting for the right to party. So they hated them. But the Beastie Boys couldn't get out of the tour, and it was huge for them either way. So they went out there. They hated the fans. The fans hated them. They call it a love-hate relationship. They hate us. We hate them. It's like love.
That's horrible.
And obviously, Beastie Boys went on to great acclaim and appeal.
Yes,
But
yes.
that's what this feels like. It's like the fans hate this. Clearly, the people in it hate the fans.
Clearly.
So
It's
what,
like they were ready.
what good can come from any of this?
Yeah, it's not, you want people to come away with a positive experience.
Maybe,
you
yeah.
know?
And maybe in my experience, that means it'll be good. Maybe the tension means that we are looking at something good. Because you got something like The Witcher, which, you know, the fans love The Witcher show.
They do.
Henry Cavill loves the fact that people love him.
Yep.
And the show's terrible. So, like, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe something good can come out of this. But, man, it's just a lot of negative energy all over the place.
I know. And I mean, so
For something that,
like-
honestly, just never... You could just take that $100 million and do anything else with it. Give us a couple
Yeah.
more seasons of Castlevania.
yeah, right.
Feed homeless dogs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you could do with this money that was spent on something that nobody ever wanted.
Yeah, help replace the iron
The
pipes
ozone layer.
in
We
America.
fixed it. Fix it again.
Yeah, right.
Insure it.
Yeah, right.
Fix the iron pipes in America. Yeah.
You know, drinking water. I don't know.
Yeah. Is it lead pipes?
Oh, I meant lead
Iron's
pipes.
okay, right?
I meant lead pipes. But I mean, like that a human being would have the same dimensions as a cartoon character, especially one that is meant to be as sexy as possible. So, i.e., big boobs, tiny waist, is ridiculous. And that she would have, where I know people were upset about the costume. It's like, sometimes things need to change, you know, in order to make it live action.
Or, here's an idea. Maybe anime doesn't need to be live action.
That is an idea.
And this isn't even a situation where Bandai or some company has milked all the money they can out of a property, a Gundam thing, let's say.
Yeah.
And then they're like, now we'll do a live action version of it so people can complain about it, but they'll buy the DVDs and the toys or whatever, and then with just another thing of money. That's not how Netflix makes money. Netflix just makes money week after week after month after month after
Yes.
month. They just make money no matter what.
Yes.
It's not, nothing is contingent on whether it's good or not. I
No.
mean, if enough things are bad on Netflix, I suppose somebody would get rid of their Netflix. But like for me, I don't like any Netflix original stuff, but I need to watch Star Trek. And so I've got Netflix. So they can
Right.
do whatever they want with my money. It'd be great if they made something good,
Yeah.
but they don't really have to. Of course,
No.
now they're getting rid of Star
I was
rid of
going to
Star
say
Trek.
that.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe you should make your Cowboy Bebop show good. But who knows? Who could say?
What is everybody's favorite live action anime thing? Like I'm thinking of,
There are none.
well, I like PGSM, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, which is the live action Sailor Moon.
It's that what didn't come out over here.
No,
it's not
it didn't.
domestic.
No, it's not domestic.
I don't know. There's probably a ton of like Japanese stuff that I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, like the Death Note movies they made in Japan, I liked.
Everybody hated the Death Note Netflix.
Yes.
Nobody even regarded the the Netflix Bleach movie.
Not really.
It's just the Blade of Immortal movie, which was directed by Takashi Miike, was just nothing. You saw it. You don't even remember seeing it.
I liked it.
Well, it was fine, but nobody saw it and nobody cared.
Yeah.
So
So
it's just
maybe
like,
just stop doing
yeah,
it.
these things do not need to be live action.
Well, and maybe not just anime, but like Disney live action. We do not need to have any of that.
Well, that's a great example, but of course, nobody really complains that Jasmine's boobs aren't big enough or whatever.
No.
Or if
but,
they do, then that's a real side eye.
Yeah.
That's a real side-eye situation.
I agree. But yeah, I don't need any
Side
of it.
eye them all. Haters to the left. This is the Just Enough Trope podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Yukon Hana.
And we're here to bring all the news that's fit to cast in the world of nerdy entertainment. Things like people aren't happy about the Cowboy Bebop thing. I don't know if that's worth casting, but
we
did.
Yeah.
Cast it to the dogs. Today we're going to talk about something a little different. We're going to talk about a new Marvel release.
Yes.
The first since Black Widow.
Yes.
It is the new Marvel movie Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yes.
Which sounds like a Disney property, doesn't it? Like an animated...
It does.
like a cartoon they turned into a live-action movie.
It couldn't just be Shang-Chi. It had to be Shang-Chi, colon, The Legend of the Ten Rings.
Shang-Chi's colon.
Yeah, right. Shang-Chi's colon.
And we will be talking about that near the end of the show. But before that, we'll talk about the news. And before that, talk about what's going on. What's going on with you?
Oh, gosh. You would put me on the spot here.
On the spot. You know how you're doing.
I'm doing all right. I guess I started reading the second book in the Children of Blood and Bone series, which I can't remember the name of the title of the second one.
Nice.
It's something and something, and it's an alliteration. Anyways, I like it, but I'm not as into it as I was like the first one without really getting into it. Like there's a character that I'm just not sure how I feel about that is still very much present. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I think I would still definitely recommend at least the first book. So it's hard to recommend something while you're in the middle of it. So
as we've learned,
yes.
As we have learned.
Yeah. But how about you, Cal?
I am trying to play video games and not succeeding.
Not succeeding?
No, I just don't have time. And it's hard when you're trying to get a regular streaming schedule going because you want to be somebody who streams on the Twitches and the video games.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I did get my new replacement headset. Turtle Beach was kind enough to send me a new headset to replace the old headset that I had, which broke due to no fault of mine. I thought that usually there's a year warranty on their products.
Yeah.
This was over a year, but for this specific model, and they have a 2-year warranty. And at first I thought, it's because it's the premium.
Right.
This is the special. I want to make sure that you get. And then I thought, no, this is the one with the bad design that will fail. So they give you a 2-year instead of a 1 year.
So what happens if something... God
if this
forbid,
one breaks,
yeah,
God knows.
Okay.
God knows.
All right.
But at that point, I guess I probably will have gotten enough use out of it. I don't know. Probably not going to buy Turtle Beach again.
Okay. Well, it's the way it's physically designed. That's the flaw.
It's just flimsy.
Right? Yeah.
It's flimsy.
Yeah.
And in the process of just taking it on and or putting it on and taking it off.
Right.
It just broke.
And
it's not what you're looking for.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not what you're looking for.
It's like a pretty simple machine.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much don't want headphones to physically
And it's
break.
a feature that doesn't even make any sense because the ear cups swivel, but they swivel to no good effect. So if you were in studio, you know, with Phil Collins or something like that, and you're like, yeah, Phil, this is great, this is great, and you were holding one cup to your head.
Yeah.
You might want it to twist so that you can just hold the one cup to your ear while you're talking to the engineer.
Sure.
Well, first of all, these are gaming headsets. And second of all, they twist the other way.
What do you mean the other way?
So if you wanted it to twist, the cup would twist. The cups face each other, right, when they're sitting in your head.
Yes.
You'd want them to twist back forward so you could hold it to your ear, and then the cross piece and the other cup would be behind you. Yeah, because you need to see Phil,
right?
And his bald head singing his heart out in that studio.
Yeah,
these twist backwards, so the aperture, the opening, is now facing backwards. So I can hold it, but I've got a thing.
It's in your face, practically hitting your head.
It's in my face,
your vision.
But I'm a pro. I won't let it hit the mic. So, so I don't. Is that to help me put them on? Like I do this and I go, and then I lock them in place. All the pressure you put on them, even if you're opening them up so that they will, do that motion, like they will,
They will swivel.
swivel onto your head instead of you going snap and snapping them down.
Right.
Still snaps them, and it puts pressure on that
The
rotational
point.
part, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So it's a terrible design. They know it. They're covering their asses, and
By giving you a 2-year.
I don't know if all of their ones are like that, but these are the ones that I wanted because they were recommended, and boy, I'll never use that site again. I recommended them. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pull off.
Yeah.
Not too hard though. Pull them off slowly.
Slowly.
So they don't break.
And try not to swivel them.
Yeah.
So what games would you, in an ideal world, be playing right now? Or have you been trying to play?
That's a great question. I got a lot of games.
Oh, okay.
I got a lot of games.
Too many.
Yeah.
Okay. Hard to focus.
Hard to focus. It is hard to focus when you keep talking. No, there's just a lot, and it's funny because, I'm lucky enough to have a PS5. But there aren't a lot of games for PS5, and a lot of the games for PS5 are like broke and need updates like Cyberpunk. And so it's like, what can you even do? Unless you make a gaming channel where you just show people all the bugs and things that don't work in games. But I kind of like to do the games and succeed at the games.
Yeah, I can see that because that's a positive thing. Yeah.
It is a positive thing. It's body positive. It's sex positive. Everything about it is positive. So if you want to see some positive gameplay from me, check out the Just Enough Trump YouTube channel, where some of our video game streams are. We will probably be transitioning fully to Twitch in the future. Thing about Twitch is, if you are a video game person, then that's where you are.
Yeah.
But if you are not, if you are, say, a podcaster, a video producer, and do other stuff, having your stuff on Twitch means that it's cut off from all the rest of your stuff. They don't really play nice with others. So I can send links, or if you know to follow me, do it right now. Go to Twitch TV/JustEnoughTrope, hit follow, subscribe. But you can't, it's hard to move content in between those two things. So assuming we can get this all done, we got the headset now, we got all the games ready to go, we'll be up on Twitch. But yeah, just keep an eye out.
All right.
Watch the skies. Let's talk about the news. Speaking of video games, let's get right into it and talk about something that we have not talked about much. And I think I always send myself things over the week, news items that we'll talk about later. I had sent this earlier in the week, completely forgot about it until you pointed it out today. Oh. And that is the fact that there's a new live-action Resident Evil movie, apparently.
Right.
Which, I guess I knew, but I had completely forgot about because honestly, why? Why do we care? Maybe things don't need to be movies. But anyway, it's real. It's called Welcome to Raccoon City, which is a bad title. It is. I hope they just change it back to Resident Evil. And it's going to be based on the first two games, mostly so they can just cram as many characters into it as possible. And why isn't it a show? There is a show.
Fantastic question. It's an animated show.
So why? Yeah, they're just going
on Netflix.
Full court press with the Resident Evil stuff. Now, I think I remember talking about this previously because some of the characters are not white, and I'm sure that drives some people crazy. Right. But it does have Leon and Claire, and Chris and Jill, and Wesker, and I'm sure Barry is there, and oh my God, and some other stuff, and we'll see how in jokey it is, because the thing about Resident Evil fans is they are they have a certain history background with the series.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that when you play Resident Evil 7, which is about a guy who goes to find his girlfriend who's been possessed by mold or whatever, there'll be a gun, and it'll be called like Barry's gun, because it's the big Magnum or whatever. So like, who's going to know that except somebody who played a 20-year-old game called Resident Evil? And so I wonder if they will keep all that stuff in there. The Paul W.S. Anderson films are famous for kind of just doing their own thing. And so there are elements, there are characters whose names you might recognize, but otherwise it's kind of its own thing. But this is supposed to be, I guess, a fairly faithful adaptation. So Claire's got her little red jacket, and Leon has got his police outfit, and we're doing all that. Chris has got the guns.
Does Leon have blonde, floppy hair?
No, Leon is not white.
Oh.
He's a Hispanic man.
Oh.
So I'm sure people are going to be real upset about that.
Well, does he have floppy hair? That's the
He
most
does
important.
have floppy hair.
Okay.
He actually looks
There we
kind of
go.
like Carlos. So here's my question. Do you make Carlos, assuming we go on and have a sequel and do Resident Evil 3,
Yeah.
you make Carlos like a Slavic dude.
No!
So he's like, oh, the ladies love my sexy accent.
Oh my god! Why would you? His
We've
name
got
is
to
Carlos.
get to the subway.
Oh, that's confusing. Okay.
Well, no more confusing than a Hispanic guy named Leon Kennedy, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's all made by
No.
Japanese people who don't know what white people look like, or anybody other than a Japanese person. So.
Fair.
How come they weren't just all Japanese people in a haunted house? It's because they specifically wanted to send up horror movies, like cheesy 80s horror and 70s, 80s horror movies.
Well, that and I think also Japan does this thing where even if they are all Japanese, they don't want them to look all Japanese, like an anime. You know,
blue hair.
Yeah, exactly. They
Gotta have blue hair.
gotta have blue hair. Why does Usagi have blonde hair and buns? You know.
So I just don't. This will be the next. As soon as the Cowboy Bebop thing dies down, I'm sure this is the next thing that people will complain about.
Oh gosh. Once they remember that it exists in
Get
the first place.
ready for that.
Yeah.
For myself, I have no expectations, so maybe I'll be surprised and pleased.
Pleasantly surprised is always nice.
Who can possibly say?
Yes.
Continuing on the video game tip, it looks like the global chip shortage that has led to basically shortages on Xbox Series X's and PS5s and
Right.
other consumer electronics will probably continue for another year.
That's bad news for gamers everywhere. That really sucks. And yeah, I mean, do they think it's because of the pandemic? Like, why is it exactly?
It is partially because of the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
It is also political tensions.
Okay.
It is because a lot of these chips use rare earth metals that exist in places that we
It's
are
all bad.
currently fighting in, just left, or are looking to get into. So it's a global South problem.
This is bad news. We need to not mine like precious metals and
Or we could
stuff.
just pay the country for the metals that it possesses,
Well, that too.
and then they would have money and infrastructure.
That's true.
And they could join the global community.
Well, that is
Or kill them all, take it. So either way, that's one of the problems. And also just natural disasters. That's not.
Oh, yeah.
That's been a thing recently.
It
What
has.
it is it's like for consumers, it's like, nah, I can't get a PS5. But really,
Right.
what it's running up into is like, this is like the Elysium moment here. This is where there are people that live in a floating space station, but they're mad because
right.
they can't get fruit roll-ups because all the people who work for less than minimum wage and need exoskeletons grafted to their bones on Earth.
Right.
We can't get the stuff to make the fruit roll-ups off of Earth. And so the space station people, that's us. That's the quote
Yeah.
unquote first world.
Right.
And we're being inconvenienced by the fact that the things that we suck out of the third world have been interrupted because it's getting extra bad in the third world.
Which is all really terrible when you stop and think about it.
And a bunch of people hoarding PlayStation 4s and graphics cards to make bitcoins.
Oh, fantastic. I am not a fan of Bitcoins.
Real money,
Yeah.
real stuff.
No.
People got mad. I'm going to cough.
Okay.
I'm going to be a professional about it.
Okay.
So professional.
So professional.
People are mad about this. And what this is that Sony announced at the beginning of the weekend, this is what we see, what happens.
Okay.
At the beginning of the weekend, late Friday, a company will announce something unpopular. There is no more end of business day on the internet. It's always open.
Right.
So people will flip out for 2 days. Then Sunday morning, they'll mention, or they'll say, they'll reverse themselves. So the current thing that happened was, jump in anytime. So the current thing that happened
I don't
was,
know what's happening. So
well, just vamp while I cough.
Okay.
The current thing that happened is that Sony announced that despite what it had said previously, it would not be providing a free upgrade for PS4 users when they buy Horizon Zero Dawn. Something that's happening for a lot of games that are coming out now, which are coming out both for the PS4 and PS5, is that people that buy them on the PS4 can upgrade them for free to PS5. Now, it sounds kind of like a loss leader for them, but remember, most of their users don't have a PS5.
That's true.
But plan to invest in it one day.
I mean,
So, Cyberpunk still has this, although I kind of feel like they're going to try to reverse themselves on it eventually. Miles Morales did this for the PS4, and they were promising that you'd be able to do this with Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, 2 weeks ago, the news was Horizon Zero Dawn delayed till February next year.
That's right.
Now, the new news is no upgrades. People flipped out, so they came back and said, you can have an upgrade.
Why do this?
No more upgrades forever. This is the last Sony game that you will get a PS5 upgrade for free for.
Are you for freaking kidding me? And we're like waiting another year for possibly more PS5s. And so people who...
Well, they want you to buy... Their launch is coming. They want you to buy it and then just stick it on a shelf.
Yeah,
I almost bought Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
There was a flash sale. They're selling it at Best Buy for $10.
No.
For $10. And it was a 24-hour sale ending at midnight. I saw the story at like 11:50 p.m. So I jumped on my phone, went to and Best Buy. We have a history of buying things from them, but I'm already logged into my phone. So bam, I'm at the website on my phone.
Yeah.
Find the game, put it in the cart. It's 11:55. Time to spare, right?
Yeah.
It's $10. I'll pay $10 for this broke-ass game,
Sure.
which gets a free upgrade to the machine that it works on.
Sure.
Push play or push buy.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It won't work. And
Why?
6 minutes went by, and I couldn't make it work, and I didn't get the deal. I found out later that it by default selects the Steelbook edition, which that's just a special case with stuff in it, which you can deselect, but the button is not readily available. It's like way down on the page to select normal version.
What?
And so I kept trying to buy something that was sold out. I could have bought it if I had switched it over, but I kind of feel like they didn't really care.
Yeah, I know.
Because they don't want to sell it for $10.
They don't want it to make it very
They want to
clear.
sell it for $30.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
How annoying.
screw you, Cyberpunk 2077. And you know what? Screw you, Sony, too.
Yes.
Can't wait to play your boy-faced game. Just kidding.
Wow.
That's another stupid story in video games, but whatever.
Yeah, and screw you, Best Buy, too, for not making it more clear.
Yeah. Screw everyone.
Yeah, the
You know
customer is always right.
You know who's really getting screwed?
Who?
Mike Richards.
Okay.
Mike Richards,
Who's that?
not Michael Richards. Yeah, exactly. Who's that?
Yeah.
He's the most famous guy who just became famous last week when he was announced that he was going to take the hosting job of Jeopardy! He's also an executive producer.
Right.
Then
Yep.
everybody freaked out because
Yep.
he's a terrible person.
Yes.
And so he was not going to take the job. Now he has lost his job as an executive producer of
Probably
Jeopardy!
for the best. Yeah. Okay.
And
well, good.
Wheel of Fortune. Now, Price is Right? I don't know. Or does he not work there anymore? I don't know. I try to learn as little as possible about these people.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, okay, so you did the right thing. Merv Griffin Enterprises?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? They own.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But anyway, you did the right thing, but oh boy, it seems like it took a lot of public outcry for you to. It kind of seems like you wouldn't have done the right thing if nobody said anything.
Yeah, seems like maybe if you had picked LeVar Burton, which whoever most people wanted you to pick in the first place.
Kind of seems like Bob Barker ended his career in disgrace because he was picking on ladies all the time, huh?
Whoa.
Yeah, the price is wrong, bitch.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Seems like there's an endemic problem here. Huh?
Yeah, seems like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Just checking. So he's out.
Okay, good.
Well, since we're still left with, me and Bialik.
I know. I know.
We'll see. She's only a guest host, and
For
they
now.
don't know. And, at this point, you just go to LeVar Burton, right? If the Ken Jennings problem was, here's a side story. Ken Jennings was obviously the heir apparent. Like, he was the guy.
Yeah.
But a couple years, this was a while ago, a couple years ago, he had those bad tweets
Oh.
And so that he was told that's what kept him out of the running. He's not in the running. So then you put your guy that literally settled in a harassment lawsuit in
what?
charge.
That
So
doesn't make sense.
if that really matters to you and that's the problem, Mr. LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
Whose
I
past
know.
is spotless.
I know.
Except for the time that he tried to steal the name Reading Rainbow.
He didn't try to steal
He
it.
did try to steal it. He just started doing it and he doesn't own it. That's theft.
guess.
Now, you could argue he is Reading Rainbow.
I would argue he is reading
Right.
Rainbow.
But if Patrick Stewart can't just go, I'm Captain Picard, man, and I'm doing
Star
the new
Trek.
show.
Yeah, right.
Who? Akiva Goldsman, who? No, I'm Captain Picard. But anyway, you go to LeVar Burton, right?
Yeah.
Now, for him, it's got to be like, wow, what a consolation prize. But job's a job.
Yeah. That's kind of
Take
the
it.
only thing that
Job's
I
a
feel.
job.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
I just, gosh, I feel so. I'm kind of glad that Trebek's not around to see this happening because what an absolute.
I'm glad Trebek's
crapshoot.
not around at all. Remember
oh
that?
My goodness. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Uh,
Is that guy? Is he canceled?
what? Will
Daryl Hammond? Isn't he that the guy? I'm sure Daryl Hammond's fine.
I'm sure he is.
You know who's
too.
not fine? Horatio Sands.
Yeah.
Look it up. And then
Yeah.
also, and you won't, I think they're doing their best to bury this, but a big player in the Horatio Sands story is one Mr. Jimmy Fallon, who was there
I think you told me about
every step of the way.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Boy.
I used to be a big Jimmy Fallon fan.
Yeah, well, hey, predators
When
are
he was-
charismatic.
Yeah, when he was on SNL, I used to be a big Jimmy Fallon fan.
Yeah,
But-
you like people breaking during sketches? That's cool. Check this out. You know who's not going to break?
Who?
Bridget Regan. She's playing Poison Ivy in season 3 of the CW drama Batwoman.
Oh, right.
And people are watching this show.
Are they?
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, it's cool if they are. I don't know.
Have we talked about why these cowards can't just make a Batman show? Is there? I would have said it was licensing. Now we've literally got 3 Batmen in the movie universe.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't know.
Including Michael Keaton. So it's not licensing. Do a Batman show, cowards. Why not?
Do they just think that Batman just does so well in
No,
movies?
they've had somebody appear. Somebody has played Batman on like Batwoman before.
Yeah.
And they've had him, appear in like Elseworlds type stuff. When Kevin Conroy played like Batman Beyond Batman or whatever. But it's just like, let's make a Batman show.
Yeah, I don't really see what the big deal is, other than
There's now literally a Superman show.
Yeah.
Where's the
there is.
Batman show?
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
I
congratulations,
agree.
Bridget Regan. I'm sure she's going to do great. Speaking of hot redheads, Annie Wershing has been cast as the Borg Queen in season 2 of Picard.
All right. I'm not familiar with who that is, but
She hasn't really done much. She was
a lot of
like
TV.
24. She's on Bosch. Yeah, she's a veteran TV actress.
okay.
And this is a role that was held previously by Alice Krieg in the films.
Yes.
The actress Susanna Thompson, who was on Arrow.
There you go.
In the TV show Voyager, and now will be played by this other person.
How? Okay.
How many times we can do the Borg on Picard?
Yeah.
Every season.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
Well, I mean, because Hugh was in it last season, we brought Hugh back and then we killed him, so that's not great. But it's just gonna be the Borg, huh? I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I don't hate the Borg, and I like the Borg Queen. I'm trying to remember. Maybe you can help jog my memory. At the end of Voyager, what happens with the Borg Queen?
She's poisoned by.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So it's by Janeway by future Janeway.
But somehow she's able to.
Well, here's the deal.
Something.
She blew up in the past,
right?
In First Contact.
That's true.
So clearly, there's more than one Borg Queen,
Okay.
or she can make another one, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
Okay. All right. Not a problem. Maybe it's like Hydra, you cut off one head.
Well, maybe it's like, since that's true, you could just cast like a not-white lady to do it.
Yeah.
It could have been anybody.
It could have been anybody.
But instead they picked Susanna Thompson, who doesn't look like Alice Krieg really, but she's kind of also like a reedy white lady.
Yeah.
And then they picked a kind of another reedy white lady. So it's like
there's a look that they're going for, even though she's
the
wearing
Borg
a
Queen
ton
could
of
look like
makeup.
anything, right? It doesn't have to look like a bald white lady.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, guess what the next thing people are going to get mad about is?
Oh no! What?
There is a Rocketeer show in the works for Disney Plus.
Oh God.
Called The Return of the Rocketeer.
Why?
And it will be wow. Okay, got your
go on. Continue.
got your opinion on it. It will be produced by David Oyelowo.
Okay.
Who? Let's see, he was in like Doctor Who, right? I'm trying to think of what you would know him from.
That name sounds very familiar.
He's a British actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. You got to start as like Danny on MI5. But
Okay.
you never watched that.
No, but
You've seen him in a BBC.
I'm sure I have.
Probably. He's a black guy.
Sure.
Just mentioning.
Yep.
So you'll know why people are mad. He's married to his wife Jessica, who is also an actress, and they're going to co-produce. And he is, he's not signed, but I think that he would like to star, but they don't.
Yeah,
he hasn't been cast yet.
Okay. So you think that's why people would be upset if the Rocketeer was black?
The Blacketeer.
Okay. I mean,
it's not gonna work.
I guess you could do other stories with it. I guess I'm just wondering, like, I feel like they told the story well with the movie, so why? But I guess, people like nostalgic type things, and there's also a rocket, and there's a lot of ways you could go with it.
So something has been happening recently where we are trying to recontextualize a lot of classic genre, fiction, pulp media, and stuff like that. I really want to see like a Mexican Doc Savage. I think that would be great.
Sure.
Not that. But so something like Lovecraft Country, right?
Yep.
Stories written by a guy who thinks that black people lay eggs instead of producing like humans. And then instead we put what's his name in the Kang in there.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And we tell a whole bunch of stories about what it's really like in the South, and also monsters. Right. And so you've got the Rocketeer. The Rock who? Nobody ever says. Right. Although that's the thing. And it's like lantern-jawed, white guy.
Yep.
Clearly could afford pilot lessons, right? Because he's a stunt flyer. And then also white Nazis are trying to steal white Howard Hughes's secret engine or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's just like a bunch of white people trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, but what if we like say that the jetpack goes into storage, Cliff hangs it up, and then in the 50s, during the Jim Crow era, he gives it to a black guy.
Sure.
What can we do with that?
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
That does sound cool. Now that you put it that way, and now that I have a better idea of what it could be, I'm more interested to see how it goes.
Like woke garbage?
Wow. I guess I do.
It's impossible. And I feel for someone like Daniela Pineda. Like, it's impossible to not be embittered by this. But
Yep.
But I think we have to rise above it, don't we?
Yeah, I think maybe
not us. Not us.
Okay.
This is our show.
Right.
We wouldn't have a show if we were
that's true.
If we were the bigger men and women.
If we weren't embittered. But I mean, maybe like you start writing the bitter.
But they should definitely be held to a higher standard.
Well, yeah, okay. All right, I see your point. But maybe you start writing the tweet and then you just delete it because there's just nothing positive you can say, and you just,
I've done
like
that
you said,
so many times.
you just
My draft folder is packed.
Right. Yeah.
But I haven't deleted them though. Speaking of other reboots, how about a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot?
Okay. I guess I'll wait to hear the concept.
NBC Plus is going to try this one out.
All right.
A newcomer named Jabari Banks has been cast.
Okay.
He has 27,000 followers on Instagram and
way more than
2 posts.
Oh, that's the strange part. You held the strange part back.
So he is literally a newcomer to this game, but he will be in this show. He is it's going to be produced by Will Smith.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Banks is also West Philadelphia, born and raised. So
okay.
we're going to try this again.
all right, maybe we can get magic twice. I don't know. Is it going to be a similar
This is
story?
how new he is. This is how new he is.
Oh my goodness.
In this newspaper article, you know how, like, maybe people don't know this, but I've both looked at and taken a lot of pictures of theater performances in my life.
Sure.
And you know how, like, they just look a certain way.
Yep.
And especially
Staged.
Yes. And especially like you maybe a little bit different, a little better if it's like a Hollywood, you know, or like a LA professional company.
Sure.
That doesn't look quite the same, but there is a look that a stage photo has.
Yep.
That to me says penny ante, cheap. You know, but obviously it's not true. A lot of good work being done on stage. A lot of good work.
Of course.
So I'm scrolling through this article going like, okay, yeah, professional. And then I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
There's some theater photos.
Jabari Banks in a University of the Arts production of The Wild Party. So it's like, he is so inexperienced. Oh, here's another one.
Oh my goodness.
The House with the Giant Pink Polar Bear. Don't know that one at
No.
University of the Arts. So he's so inexperienced that they have to use pictures from his college plays.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that means that he's not going to be good.
No.
I just think that,
he'll
like,
definitely be young.
it's one thing to have a semi-successful rap career. So there's no semi. He was successful.
He was successful.
And
People
then
knew him.
cross over to TV. But
Yeah, right.
this guy's work cut out for him.
Well,
But Will Smith believes in him.
that's
So,
all you need, man. That's
yeah,
all you need.
that's all you need.
At least he didn't try to cast his son or his daughter in the role. That's some growth, I think. So, from Mr. Will Smith.
What are they up to?
I don't know.
I haven't seen them in a while.
No, and they're not very quiet usually, so I don't know
No.
what's going on with them.
It might be the thing where it's like, we did it, right?
Yeah.
Like Willow probably got, she went platinum at least once. Jaden probably won an MTV movie award or something. And they're like, all right, let's just spend all our money, right? Come on. Why are we still doing this?
Why are we doing this? Yeah. I don't know.
I don't have the drive that my dad did.
Yeah.
I want to write weird tweets all day. The Jaden Smith manifesto. Let's talk about Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
It's moving. Flying, you could say. From Thanksgiving to Memorial Day weekend.
That's a big move.
Yes.
Why?
So it's moving to May 27th, Memorial Day. So once again, Tom Cruise won't even look like he looks in this movie now. This thing's been delayed so much.
Why is it being delayed?
I just think that Paramount is shy. It's gun shy about the COVID situation.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And it's funny, they do have a streaming service now, but I don't think they're anywhere near trying to make decisions about. It tells you, so they always say they're doing great. Of course, they'll never release numbers about their subscriber base, but it tells me that their subscriber base is not where they want it to be. That they haven't even thought about trying
Releasing
to do
it.
a VOD type thing here.
I agree with you.
Plus, I don't think their service can handle it because Paramount Plus is just sucks.
It's
The infrastructure is really bad.
Very good.
It's getting better, but it's bad. And also, Mission Impossible 7 is going to move to September 30th of next year.
What? When was it supposed to come out?
Haley Atwell and Tom Cruise are going to be married by the time this thing comes out.
Don't you utter those words ever again.
She's going to be in a TikTok. Sorry, we used to call it Dub Smash back then.
Oh my
Burp,
god.
burp.
No.
Dancing. He's on a couch. Dancing.
No, I don't like any of this.
Mission Impossible was going to come out Memorial Day weekend, so Top Gun bumped. Tom Cruise bumped himself.
Of course.
I say release him the same day. Watch people's heads explode.
A double feature. A Tom Cruise double feature.
Yeah.
Oh, sadness. Okay, I thought we were done with movies getting bumped, but I guess not.
Well, I'll tell you. Clifford the Big Red Dog has also been taken off the schedule.
Okay.
And has not been put back on.
Huh. Is that also Paramount or?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Scream reboot.
Yeah.
Has been moved to January 14th.
I didn't.
January, great time for
that
movies
is
to come out.
a
great time.
Horrible time for a horror film.
Great time.
Supposedly
they were going to move Venom 2 from its October slot. But now we don't know. Now it seems like it's probably going to stay where it is. And Ghostbusters Afterlife will be coming out on November 19th.
So Ghostbusters Afterlife will be Thanksgiving-ish.
Yes.
Okay. I forgot they were doing a freaking Scream reboot. I don't
think anybody.
Who is that for, except for my friends in high school who are really
Well,
big
it's not for
Scream
Wes Craven,
fans.
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, right.
He's not getting paid anymore.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Plus, how is it going to use the internet? Right? That's the big innovation since the last one came out, right?
Yeah.
The killer he's on Dub Smash.
Right.
Oh my God, Haley Atwell's there. Wait a minute, does the killer have huge tits?
Oh, stop it.
You know who the killer is.
Oh my gosh.
What else should we talk about? Should we talk about Anya Taylor-Joy?
Sure.
So we know that she is playing Furiosa in the Mad Max Fury Road prequel.
That's a odd choice.
Actually, that's pretty much the story. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Give me your thoughts.
I don't. I feel like my thoughts have started and stopped several times because I'm just trying to process this choice. I don't know how I feel about that. I like Anya Taylor-Joy. I like Charlize Theron. Is it Theron or Theron? I don't know.
Yeah, the question of the ages.
But I don't.
Just call her Charlie.
Yeah, right.
If you're nasty.
I don't know that I think that Anya is necessarily the same caliber action. Has she really done much action?
She was magic
stuff. Yeah, and a really, really horrible movie.
Here's the problem. I really like both of them. And I think that Anya did a lot better than anybody would have expected from her out of Queen's Gambit. Not that we think she has a reputation for being bad. It's just
did a great job in Queen's
young
Gambit.
actress has to carry an entire series. Did great.
Yeah.
But like you shave Charlize Theron's head and tell her to look off in the middle distance, and you get a certain thing. You shave Anya Taylor-Joy's head, you tell her to look off in the middle distance. It's something else. And there's a vulnerability to an Anya Taylor-Joy character that might fit a younger Furiosa. She has not become the steely-eyed Charlize Theron yet. But if they're trying, that's not how they cast, right? If they're trying to match, they don't match.
They just they don't. And Anya has. I mean, you've made fun of them before, but like these
okay, we can't explain what happens to her eyes.
It's just these giant eyes.
She grew into those eyes.
Yeah, right. Okay. Wow.
Oh my God.
I walked us there.
I love her so much. So we'll see what happens with that.
I feel like they could have done a better match with an unknown. You know what I mean? I know they think they probably wanted somebody else who is like a big name, but I think maybe if they could go somebody who is unknown.
From West Philadelphia.
Sure, right, exactly. Take a note out of Will Smith's book and don't cast your child or a well-known actress already.
Well, what's neat is that Miller will be involved. He wanted to do this.
I know.
He wanted to make a prequel.
I know.
So I trust him. It's like a fungus or something. But Chris Hemsworth is going to be in it.
Oh, okay. Really? Can you see gorgeous blonde Chris Hemsworth in like...
Saw gorgeous Tom Hardy in it.
Yeah. But Tom Hardy can like dirty up really easily and be like scuzzy.
It's true. But it's like, why has the guy got to be in everything? You have to have a Hemsworth in everything.
Yeah.
It's an Australian movie. It's a tax you have to pay. I'm surprised. I guess it didn't happen as of yet.
Just put Nicole Kidman in it or something. I don't know.
She's doing streaming TV. She loves it. It's easy. She comes in. They make her look great. She only works for 4 hours a day. They send her home. She's earned it.
All right.
What else is going on?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'll tell you. Did you know that we've seen pics from the set of Aquaman?
Oh.
Aquaman 2.
No, I haven't.
Aquaman The Lost Kingdom.
Uh-oh.
And this is no good for the audience at home, but for you.
Oh.
You can
I'm in for a treat.
what the new Aquaman suit looks like.
Okay, I am going to look at it.
Just do it already.
Okay. Thanks, I hate it.
Aquabat.
Why?
Man. He's an Aquabat.
Why?
He's an Aquabat.
I liked it before because it was the Aquaman colors, but it was like updated. Now it's like blue or black and like all black. Like all black. So why? So you don't see him coming? That's not the point of Aquaman. He is a ridiculous character who you totally see coming.
Yeah. All right. So stop your mouth. Then this is also another suit from the film. This is the new second.
Okay, that one I like more.
Yeah. So
that
maybe
one's
he's
more
gonna
traditional.
Aqua stealth. Something about this is that this one looks pretty good. The black one it has an awkward look to it that says either photo manipulation or there will be photo elements added later.
Oh, so you think this is not the finished product?
Sometimes, yeah. Like with what's her name's Supergirl outfit when it's a flying rig and they're gonna add things, or like Brie Larson's really flat butt in the
oh god
the Captain Marvel
you were
suit.
So nonchalant when you brought that up.
They're gonna add things later, right?
Right.
So that's what that says to me. But I'm clearly just
okay, all right.
I'll
try to refrain from judgment.
He eats chicken wings in this one, and the stains don't show.
Stop.
I've only got one more thing to talk about, and it has to do with Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Which we have not talked about. We don't really know anything about. But the internet is, there's a fight going on.
Okay.
The backlash has started. The wave of love came, and then almost immediately on its heels, the backlash came.
Okay. What's happening?
Well, can I explain it for you?
Yeah.
No, when I explain it, it'll be remember, this is my opinion.
Okay.
But I'm also right.
Per usual.
You could not make Parks and Recreation now. We live the whole dream of of liberal government has been shattered.
Yeah.
That Leslie Knope looks like a fool.
Sure.
You know
Since
what I mean?
Trump. Yeah.
Well, yeah, since a lot of stuff, but definitely Trump, and also having Joe Biden actually as president. So I don't think you could make that today. And I think that it is trying to capture that same thing, which is like goofy person, good-natured. The Office is, if The Office was too sharp, a little too sarcastic for you, then this is perfect, right? Mm-hmm. And so people like it for that reason, but people also hate it for that reason because they're like, this is fluff.
Yeah.
Why do you like this? This is just like any other dumb sitcom that has nothing to say.
Okay.
And so the reason I bring it up is because recently, the Twitter account, Tom and Lorenzo, I have no idea what it is.
Okay, me neither.
Was talking about Ted Lasso fans, and they said, wow, Ted Lasso fans are a passionate bunch, aren't they? They remind me of Outlander fans, but vaccinated.
Wow, what?
That started a huge argument on Twitter over whether or not that was correct. Whether or not that was accurate, an accurate take on Outlander fans. What do you think? I
think that you think it's hilarious.
Somebody's like, please, my mom loves Outlander.
Oh my God. I think that this is somebody who just wanted to stir the pot, and they
I think it was somebody just making an awesome joke. I doubt that they thought they would get this big.
Okay, all right, that's fair. But I think we're just so divided about everything right now. It's really infuriating, isn't it? That people would be like, oh, I have not been vaccinated and I'm a Ted Lasso fan, or
well, you are getting a bunch of, hi, my name is blah, I'm an Outlander fan, I've also been fully vaccinated.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're getting a lot of that.
Yeah,
I assume you get a lot of that.
Diana Gabaldon, the writer of Outlander,
oh my gosh,
texted a picture of her daughter getting vaccinated.
Okay, all right, why is she weighing in on this? Stop. Stop!
But it's
you have the power to not say anything, to not be a part of this. as a freaking author of these books, and yet you're like,
It's so great.
And it's not even like her getting vaccinated. It's a picture of her
so
daughter
great.
getting vaccinated.
Now, I read this on the Mary Sue, and the Mary Sue can definitely just ride something like Slim Pickens all the way into the ground.
Yeah.
And so they went and actually looked at the numbers, and they said that, middle-aged white women are the show's main demographic.
Which
no question.
show? Outlander?
Yes, Outlander.
Yeah.
Although Ted Lasso maybe too. We don't know. Here's the thing. I should say this for the end, but I'll say it now. This is undefendable, but it's also unprosecutable. This is the when did you stop beating your wife type thing, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing you could say. Oh, but you couldn't say it about actually, you could. I was going to say Power, but you could say it about Power for different reasons.
What?
Ask that girl asked Letitia, right? It's a show for black people.
Okay.
So anyway, you couldn't say this about. You couldn't flip it. You couldn't say
No.
it wouldn't work, right?
Right.
So the fact that it works is why it's a good joke.
Yeah,
But
I understand.
the numbers, this is falling apart. And it said women are slightly more likely to be vaccinated than men, right?
Yes.
White and middle-aged, that's kind of in the middle of the pack as far as who's going to be vaccinated. The site Dataface found in 2018 that 58% of the Outlander TV series audience is women.
Okay.
And they went all the way into the ground. The COO of Starz said in 2019 that the audience of Outlander is 24 to 54, which is like that's a huge range.
Huge.
That's 30 years.
Yeah.
That's a huge demographic. That's not a demographic.
That's not, no.
And a little more economically viable than other segments. A little bit of barf. And then after that, he called them premium females. All the way barf.
No.
So anyway,
that is so gross.
It doesn't exactly like paint. The thing is there's no answer to this. And of course, because the Mary Sue always disappears all the way up their own colons, they start talking about like, oh, the U.S. has a history of sterilizing poor non-white women. Yeah. We know.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with Ted Lasso and Outlander.
What does it have to do with somebody's stupid offhanded comment?
Okay. But that's the thing. We are a powder keg. We are a Tinder keg. Is Tinder keg? Probably say powder keg. People think you're gonna get beer on Tinder.
Yeah, right.
Tinder box. There's a Tinder box.
Yeah.
Powder keg.
Yeah.
And a freak gasoline fight.
Right, of course.
You don't hear my line no more. Oh, you don't make it ring. I can't keep this on the low.
It's a many funny things of a world that we live in.
Yes.
When you can have a comic book inspired by a genre of film that creates a character that then is taken by Disney Corporation to create a brand new film to fit into their chronology of films that itself is something of an homage or is at least redolent of current Chinese cinema. We're talking about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yes.
Starring Simu Liu as the titular Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Awkwafina as Katie. I should have saved that for the end because I'd be like, oh, it's Tan Lo and Wei Wen and Katie.
Yeah, I know.
But that's what we've got. And Tony Leung as not the Mandarin.
No.
Not the Mandarin.
Not the Mandarin.
Not the Mandarin.
Yeah, exactly. Not the mama.
We'll talk about why in a little bit. But first we have to go through the farce, which is your recap.
Oh, God damn it. I knew I had to do this.
It's a bit. We want to see the bit.
There's too much exposition in this.
There's a lot. There is a lot.
And
that's why you have to give up and just
through.
You just summarize.
So basically, we start out at the beginning and we find out there's a voiceover and we find out that it's Shang-Chi's mother talking to him later and telling him
that's
about.
Right, there is voiceover. Oh, man.
That's how it starts.
Oh, man.
And we find out that his father got these rings, but we don't know how. Like, we start, he has the rings, and we don't know how long he's had
rings.
them. Yeah.
Seems like we can move
on. He's got this huge army, and he just wanted...
This is the first scene.
Power.
This is the first scene in the film.
I know, but, like, he was not a good guy for, like, 1,000 years. And then he met Shang-Chi's mother, who had a different style of martial arts in like 1996. And
we knew because she was wearing something from the 90s. That's right. I always try to give you a chance to jump in, but you don't.
Sure. What?
When he fought her, she had a bunch of slap bracelets.
Oh,
on.
right.
A joke like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Only you could probably do better. So when he met her, she turned off Seinfeld, and
when he met her, she was wearing a side ponytail, so we knew it was the 90s.
There you go. Yeah. It's easy.
Okay. But he was very aggressive, and he was going to kind of try to get into her. She lives in this secret city that has a lot of magic.
Do you notice how you have to keep stopping and like adding things? But this is because of that. So she did this. Oh, this was that. The movie does that too.
Yeah.
The movie's constantly doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to make it.
Probably not.
I mean, if I keep interrupting you, you'll never make it.
No.
But I don't think that you're gonna make it. So let's suffice it to say that Shang-Chi is a 25-year-old, young man in San Francisco who is not who he seems. Who he is
valet parker.
He is
Driver.
yeah.
Valet
Right. Well,
driver.
he is a valet driver.
You're right.
So when you see the red vest, he is what he seems.
Yeah, right.
But the rest of him, not what he seems.
Right.
He's actually the child of a warlord.
Yes.
Named not the Mandarin.
Wei Wen?
Yes.
I think.
And yes. And he is Wen Wu.
Wen Wu.
Wen
Okay,
Wu.
sorry.
Let's get it right. And he is, the possessor of these crazy rings.
Yeah.
And he's also the leader of the terrorist or group or whatever it is, the 10 Rings. Mm-hmm. And he trained Shang-Chi to be a killer from a young age. But Shang-Chi ran away and tried to live his own life. But destiny's not done with him yet.
No.
And Aquafina's there.
Pulls him back in.
With the black scent.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, we're not going to even bother talking about that.
No.
So anyway, what do you think?
Yeah. So I like parts of this movie and parts.
This movie is a mess.
It is a mess.
No, it's a fun mess.
Yeah, I would agree
But
with that.
When I left a Shang-Chi movie going, could use a little more Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Not a ton of Shang-Chi in it.
No, there's not a ton of Shang-Chi
I was
in it.
disappointed.
Yeah.
And it's part of, I'd never till now felt what everybody has said for years, that every Marvel movie is the same. I think that applies to some Marvel movies. I think there were a lot of Marvel movies, especially in Phase 2, that were doing interesting, innovative things, that were paying homage to and reaping the benefits of things that came before, but doing things in interesting ways. And sure, every origin movie is kind of the same.
Yeah,
I don't believe in magic or chakras or whatever or PowerPoint. He just really hates like office products for some reason. I don't believe in Dreamweaver. And so
get word away from me.
And then that person's like, no, it's actually this, and they go, oh boy, I really learned a lesson.
Right.
Weirdly, this is not that.
Yeah.
But so that's a vote in its favor.
Yes.
It's not really that at all. But actually, they cram it in at the end of the second act because they forgot they had to do that.
Yeah, right.
But what it is the self-assembly, build at home, Marvel superhero, do-it-yourself assembly kit.
Uh-huh.
Every single one of these films comes with the hero, 3 or 4 sidekicks,
Right.
A whole new neighborhood to add to the MCU.
Sure.
And then some giant, usually CGI monster, or something to put into it to fight it.
Yep.
And then also a bad guy that you're probably going to kill.
Yep.
But is slightly sympathetic.
Right.
And this follows that to a T. It is if you thought Shang-Chi was going to be a movie where a guy just climbs 5 levels of a pagoda, fighting people with nunchucks, to avenge his father's death or something like that. It is not.
It is not. And
this is a modern wuxia movie.
Yes.
In the vein of what Mulan was trying to do, in the vein of, a million blockbusters that China itself is putting out now.
Yeah.
I think that China is going to shit itself over this film. I think they are going to love it because it is very reminiscent of your Great Walls, your something like The Wandering Earth or something like that. Just like this balls out CGI action, with fun characters and emotions and things like that, but like pretty light.
Yeah, it's very light, and unfortunately, I feel like
he killed a guy.
Yeah, which we don't really spend much time exploring the ramifications of
no,
that.
we don't spend any time at all.
Or, I mean, we know he feels bad about it.
No, he feels terrible.
But
if like Aquafina killed a guy, we would talk about that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I would think so.
So I just recited the lyrics of Hotel California, and then I slit his throat. What?
You would never think of that song the same way again. You just wouldn't.
Right. I mean, they do stab it with the steely knives and kill the beast.
Well, that's true.
Do you think that someday you'll get to talk? But I'm saying interesting things. Do you think that the lyrics of that song are supposed to inform the film?
Hotel California?
Maybe not the second part. Not on a dark desert highway. That's not really that. But like they're gathering for the feast. They stab it with their steely knives. They can't kill the beast because you need dragon scales to do that. And
maybe
you're dancing to remember. You're dancing to forget. They're doing the kung fu dances.
Yeah, I guess I just really thought of it as like she does it as a distraction, right? With this,
the most random thing we can get that also we'll pay for, but it can't cost too much. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be Obla Di Obla Da or something.
Right.
Actually, that's probably a more affordable Beatles song. But anyway, and literally African tribesmen need to know it. So it works on every audience.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And it can be a callback later in the movie because that's
but anything Obla Di Obla Da could be a callback.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Maybe? I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't think that there's not as much martial arts fighting in this as I would have liked. At least not as much without, magical elements and the 10 rings and CGI stuff added. And I think that is a kind of a drawback.
There's more fighting in Captain America the Winter Soldier than this. Cap punches more people in a Captain America movie than Shang-Chi does in his Kung Fu movie.
Yeah, I think it's a drawback. I also think that, I don't know if you felt this way, but I didn't feel like I could always totally tell, what was happening in the fights, which I know has been a big thing as of late, that people have been talking about in movies recently, because that has become, we've realized how important that is, for there to feel like there's weight and stuff like that behind the punches that are, being thrown and like, stuff landing on the opponent and the reactions that people have. And if you're the camera, you're like, where am I focusing? It's really hard for that to have emotional weight.
I'm split right down the middle.
Are you?
As far as that goes, because they have an interesting solution to that, which is, here's the problem. The problem is capturing a fight on camera. And do you do it in one long take? Do you do it with cuts to emphasize the action, to tell the story of the fight? If they're going to move around, how do you keep them in frame? Are you panning, left and right or up and down to catch them? And the movie solves this by completely making it all digital, right?
Yeah.
Like there must have been some physical camera, but I'm pretty convinced that they had some kind of rig and also computer. Like, I think they just fought on a green screen stage, right? There's a scene where they're fighting in a disintegrating accordion bus.
Yes.
And there's nowhere the camera could be. It can't fit in there.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, this bus is not driving down the street.
It's true.
It's just the star fighting the guys on a thing.
Yeah.
And then the camera is constantly kind of moving and dutching and moving around, and it is choreographing with the motions.
Yeah.
I think the motions are very set because they're choreographed.
Yes.
And so instead of like cuts, it's trying to keep it all in one long shot.
Which I can appreciate.
Yeah, which is trying to alleviate the problem that you mentioned of like, how do I know what's happening in the fight and keeping it clear? I felt that it was so maybe all future fight films will be like this. Maybe The Matrix 4 will do this. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we talked before about like what's the Gap commercial thing going to be for the new Matrix movie? They have to re-innovate again, right?
Right.
So maybe it'll be this, although Disney already ate their lunch. But it was so distracting for me because I'm not used to that sort of thing that I did not like it all that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about, I think, the kind of dearth of fights. You know, there's the part where he fights the Death Dealer or whatever. And the whole thing is that, like, the Death Dealer's got 2 knives. That's bad.
Yeah.
But maybe Shang-Chi's going to get one of the knives away from him. And now he's got the knife. And so now they're evenly matched. Are you talking about,
like, Razor Fist or Razor?
No, I'm talking about the guy in the mask, Death Dealer.
Oh, I thought that was like Razor or something like that.
No,
Razor
Fist.
Dealer?
Razor Fist has a
sword the guy
arm.
who has a.
Yeah,
that's my bad. I got them confused somehow. Yeah. Okay.
He's got a razor in his fist.
Yeah, right.
This guy's fist is a razor.
Right.
It should be called Fist Razor. And like so, and it's moving around and it's doing all that stuff, but it's using the technique that I was describing with the camera, and I just found it like kind of disorienting and not as satisfying as just long shot, reverse shot, insert for the he got hit in the face. I made the mistake of watching the amazing Jet Li fight, at the end of Fist of Legend before I went to see this movie. And
there's nothing like that.
Nothing in the movie comes close to that.
No, it's disappointing.
That being said, my least favorite fight had the most exciting sequence, in my opinion. So their idea was, what if they fought on the side of a skyscraper, and they're on the bamboo scaffolding, and so it's going to be multi-levels and it's going up and down. And I felt like too busy, can't tell what's going on. Also, it's dark, don't really care. I did not like that fight.
Yeah.
But when Awkwafina falls off the thing, and then he's got to run, and instead of just like fighting these guys 1-to-1, he's got to find ways to like immediately get them out because he's got to get past them. Go up and down the thing, and we kept her in sight the entire time as he's getting closer and closer to her, and it's breaking and it's breaking. Like, that was well done.
Yes, it was.
Another thing that does not exist anywhere in the world. That was all just people on green boxes.
Right.
Which is how they make these things now.
Right.
But
I think that the fight on the bus and the fight between him and his sister in...
everybody loves that. I was underwhelmed by it.
What was what?
I was underwhelmed by that.
Oh, I liked it. I like the sister character too. Like, and you have mixed feelings about her, but I mean, when you told me your mixed feelings, I don't totally disagree. So I like her because I think she's kind of a badass. But it's like, not only did he just F off, he left his sister behind. So that's another, I mean, it's not as bad as killing a guy. But it's not great.
Yeah. Also, real quick, you have to get around the whole, I guess killing somebody in self-defense is understandable, right?
Yeah.
Whereas assassinating somebody, not great.
Right.
So he feels bad that he assassinated a guy one time.
Yes.
Then he throws roughly 8 to 12 guys off the side of a skyscraper. Fine.
Well, and she kind of like throws a guy. And
no, that was the last guy. He needed to interrogate him to learn about his father, and then she just executes that guy. Doesn't matter. He's going to see his father in 2 minutes anyway.
I know.
He didn't know that.
No.
The
and
audience
she didn't know that either.
Yeah. But in the meantime, like, people are just, it's raining men as far as people coming off that scaffolding is concerned.
Right. And then you brought up, there's just a couple of things. Like, they have these necklaces that we see his mother give it to Shang-Chi, and she gave one to his sister as well. I don't actually recall learning his sister's name. I'm sure it was said at some point, but they both have one, and the guys from the Ten Rings are after them because they want them, because he wants them. Their dad and Tony Leung, and basically, then he basically just takes him back to the compound. They seem like they're his guests at that point, and then they watch him put the pieces of the pendants on the dragon, and then had the magical water, and then we...
Yes.
So why did we have to steal them just to get them to that point? Like, it just doesn't make... It makes my head hurt. Like, it made my head hurt just, like, watching the movie. Like, being like... I feel like...
But you forgot the best part.
What was that?
After his dad gets the map, and then this whole time he's like, guys, go kill my progeny and take the thing back. Then the guys bring the things back without killing them, but they show up anyway. And he's like, I'm glad that you weren't killed. Now we can all be together.
Right.
That's where the thing is. Okay, now I'm going to throw you in prison.
Well, because they didn't want to do it.
Right,
but I know.
Convince them?
I
Throw them
know.
in
He didn't
prison.
even try.
Right, so I guess I didn't need you in the first place. Then they escape from the prison and he's like, whatever, I'm going to go on by myself anyway.
Yeah.
And then they don't, I guess they looked at the map, but they don't need the map
No.
because they've got a magical creature. but they also saw the map.
They did.
I guess they just need to get there first.
They do.
But they saw the map, so why do they need the magical creature?
To get there first.
But they can just go. They have a map. They just saw the map.
But the map, it's only
Tony
that...
Leung didn't write anything down, so I'm
No.
assuming if they all have the same brain capacity, they saw the map.
But they need to get there first, and this happens in 3 days from now.
But they want to
and
be
so
there in 2 days.
Yeah,
so the
right,
magical creature's going to help them.
Yeah.
But see how that doesn't
It's not... Yeah.
That's not something tangible. That's not something that I go, I've been in that situation.
No,
Even
I know.
if it's, like, bad example, maybe, but like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, we're going to see this important guy. He's a space guy. He's going to make us wait. I hate when we have to wait for stuff. I can relate to that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's... Yes.
Like, I can relate to needing batteries for my Walkman.
Right.
But like, so we've seen the map. We know where the thing is. We got to get there 2 days before instead of 3.
Right.
So we got to get the thing. And the guy from Iron Man 3 shows up.
Yep.
And we do all this stuff.
Yep.
The shark, we have leapt over the shark.
Yeah.
I laughed about how they brought the guys from Tokyo Drift back into the Fast and Furious franchise. We also laughed about, what was the other thing we laughed about? Was it in Black Widow? There was some other thing. They're doing a thing now. A lot of these franchises are doing things where they're taking Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
How like Loki made like Thor: The Dark World one of the most important movies in the Marvel universe going forward.
Right. Yes.
We all laughed about that.
Yep.
Then Ben Kingsley showed up, and it's like we need to stop doing this. This isn't important.
No, it's not.
No.
Like it's a funny side thing, but like
Bring Jeff Bridges back.
Yeah, right. The whole movie has stopped now because this guy who is playing an actor who played the Mandarin.
It's fun to have Ben Kingsley, I guess, but
Yes.
this will never pay off.
No.
And it's only an opportunity for them to go, no, actually Iron Man 3 was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so let's have Tony Leung, a guy that we're hopefully, paying a lot by the hour to be in this dumb thing.
Yeah.
Have him waste time setting up that joke. Like,
Yeah, right.
It's almost like Tony Leung's like, have you guys seen the special features on the Iron Man 3 DVD?
Yeah, I know,
It's just
right.
like, who cares about any of this?
I know. Why are we spending time on this at
Right.
all?
But the payoff was Ben Kingsley's in it. So
Well, and then so this isn't. I want to go back to the sister thing a little bit.
the sister is named Xialing.
Xiaoling. So I think she's cool, but I do. You had said before that maybe.
I don't like her haircut.
Yeah. Okay. I
guess you did an article about the badass Bob, the Mary Sue.
Of course
and
they
they're
did.
like, here's the history of the badass Bob. Louise Brooks was the one white woman who had the badass Bob. Every other character they brought up, one of them was Faye Valentine, was an Asian character. And that
Yeah.
was my point. It was like, why did
It
she have
seems
to
like
be
a
so
stereotype.
stereotypically Asian? She could have had any hairstyle.
Yep.
We've already got, sure, she's supposed to be set apart from the two yokels who, live in San Francisco, who are Asian American characters.
Right.
But it's like, she could have been any kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's a world globe-trotting, criminal boss or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's like, China. It's like, man.
It's
bothered me.
That's unfortunate, and I think they could have made a bigger deal of her and Shang-Chi's reconciliation.
Did they reconcile?
Yeah, see, that's another thing. And then something else that kind of bothered me, it's supposed to be Shang-Chi's movie.
No, I think it's the Ten Rings movie.
Yeah, right. And then they get to the village and they meet his cool aunt, who's Michelle Yeoh.
Who should have been hit from the start, right? Why did we have to wait that long
I know.
to get... Plus, she takes over the movie once she shows up.
Oh,
so
God,
clearly
yes.
you wanted her to be in the movie for a long time.
Yeah.
So like, this movie's a mess.
It's a total mess.
Continue.
But she gives them, she's like, welcomes them to the village, and we're so glad that you're here. And she gives them this gift from their mother that, once they arrived, it's like this special armor that has like dragon
Here's
scale
your
armor.
costumes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like, here's your costumes. And Shang-Chi's is his from, what you see from the promo posters and everything. And his outfit tunic is red. And everybody else in the village is wearing red. And then they give his sister a silver outfit. Why is his sister, who is not the title character, given a different color?
Because she's neutral.
But she's not.
She isn't really. Everybody in the town has like a red robes or red armor.
Yes.
The mercenaries, who come to kill them all, we'll talk about in a second. The 10 Rings guys are all in black armor.
Yes.
And then she's in silver because
she could
the
go
entire
either way.
movie doesn't do much with this, but she is morally gray here. And then, of course, at the end of the film, she, takes over the 10 Rings.
Yeah,
and
which
so
I think
we'll see her again, but no.
They could have alluded to that more too, because I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no foreshadowing of any kind of heel turn from her.
No.
So I love the fact that. Okay, all right. So maybe they're really well trained guys in like tack gear with guns.
Yeah.
Are like the mooks of these films. Like they're
What do you
never.
mean?
They're the punching bags of these films.
Yeah.
They're never like good at anything, right?
No.
And so they're going to take on a village full of 4,000-year-old magic Chinese people who train karate every day.
Right.
Why isn't this immediately over?
Yeah, I know.
But I did like the fact that and are there any bad guys in this except for the literal tentacle dragon? Because we're supposed to like
his dad
we're supposed to feel bad for his dad.
Yes.
Who, from what we understand, has been like a warlord. We see what the people do in his name at the beginning of the movie, and like they just explicitly murder people.
Yeah.
They're just killing people left and right.
Yeah.
So his hands are soaked with years and years of blood.
Yes.
But, he did a nice thing at the end, so he's good.
Right.
And so all the guys that work for him, including Razor Fist, immediately see like where the bread is buttered, and they're like, okay, we're all going to work together. And then they all work together, which I understand that they're allies against, getting their souls sucked out.
Yeah, exactly.
But as soon as it's over, I mean, maybe nobody's paying them anymore. Then they do the scene that you have to do, where we do the lantern scene for all the people we've lost. And it's all the people in the village, but also all the guys are there in their tack gear still.
Really? Because I didn't notice them there still.
Yes, they're all there.
Oh, that's weird.
So it's just that we're doing like an Ewok. It's like if we did the Ewok village scene and it was Ewoks and stormtroopers with like their arms around each other.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Yeah, no.
It'd just be like, there should be one scene where they killed the old guy, so he's gone, right?
Yeah.
Old guy exists only to die. Sad. But anyway, Michelle Yeoh just comes to Razor Fist and she's like, nice job. Now get out of here. Don't ever come
Seriously.
back to Tove Lo or whatever this place is
Tolo,
called.
I think.
Yeah.
Tolo, yeah. I'm bad. I don't remember.
Tove Lo's a singer. Anyway. Yeah. Little weird.
Yep.
But this whole thing is weird. I feel like the director thinks he's funny or clever.
Yeah.
There are some bits that are really clever, and we know that Marvel movies can't not be funny. They'll never abide a dark tone. Honestly, I was thinking about this. This is probably, except for the fact that he isn't kung fu enough, and also we're going to talk about the rings, the elephant rings in the room.
Yeah.
This is probably the best way to go with Shang-Chi. Do you want a broody guy with a page boy haircut or with a Louise Brooks haircut,
right?
Who's just like, oh, I gotta find the future. Do you want Kwai Chan Kang basically?
No, not really.
No, you don't. So if you don't want that, then karaoke loving guy who needs to get more serious about his destiny.
Yeah.
Fine. Good change.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's a bunch of jokes that aren't really funny, and there's a bunch of like things that are kind of whimsical, and it's like, what are you trying to land here?
I know.
Guy that directed Short Term 12 and screenwriter who wrote Wonder Woman 1984, which also had a bunch of weird, like whimsical parts that didn't land.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe stop trying to be
Maybe
funny.
break
if
that
you're
guy's
not
hands.
Funny. Yeah, exactly.
Shark.
Well,
He'll dictate his scripts.
for example, the thing that they felt the need to call back at the end when they're meeting with their friend from high school, Aquafina and Shang-Chi are meeting with, or Katie and Shang-Chi are meeting with their friend from high school and her husband. And their friend from high school is a really serious lawyer, and she tells them they need to grow up and take life more seriously. And then the whole movie happens, and then they come back and they're telling him about all the crazy stuff that's happening, just so Wong can interrupt the entire bar. And
They have a different life now.
yeah,
It's a weird life.
yeah, just so they can
Where
show
Wong
up that
knows them.
yeah,
It's weird that Wong's in this movie.
it's weird that Wong's in this movie.
I mean, I like Benedict Wong, and I like
I do
seeing the
too.
character Wong and their take on him, but it just feels like, guys, they don't all have to know each other.
Yeah, apparently he was really excited to be involved.
Well,
in the film.
I was excited to see him, but I felt bad watching him because it's like they took the one other Chinese character in the entire
know.
MCU and put him in this movie.
I know.
It would be like if Rhodey had to hang out in Wakanda.
Which doesn't happen.
No,
So
it doesn't happen.
Yeah, thankfully.
But it just was a little odd.
It is a little odd.
Although
So-
it did lead to one element of the film, and this is the final thing that we'll probably talk about, which is something that I was both excited about and incredibly frustrated about.
Okay.
And that is the titular 10 rings.
Yep.
Something that in the comic books was, literally 10 rings that
Rings
the
on your
Mandarin wore
fingers. Right.
and did
Yeah.
different stuff. Like there's a freeze ray and a disintegration ray, and they have different abilities.
It was a very different thing.
Which I think they changed because it's too much like the Infinity Stones. And I'm like, how dumb do you think
Whatever.
people are?
Yeah.
So anyway, they're just, here's where they started from. They started from the premise that guy who punches people is not enough.
Yep. That's
That guy
where they
can't
started
be on
from.
the Avengers. Mm-hmm. Boy, I hope they never put Daredevil on the Avengers.
Yeah.
They'll probably give him demon wings and a pitchfork.
I
'Cause it'll be
mean,
on brand, right?
So, Black Widow and Hawkeye are on the Avengers.
They could be Avengers.
Yeah.
Imagine how many Chitauri he could kick in the face.
I know.
But anyway, that's not enough. And so
Yeah.
they immediately reworked the 10 rings into a weapon.
Yep.
And like iron rings worn on your arms,
Yeah.
or thrown, is an ancient weapon. That's something that has appeared in the past before.
Sure.
And so they took that, and then it's also something that can enhance your physical capabilities. You can jump really far, or you can shoot a Dragon Ball thing or something like that.
Right. And it could be like
I guess it makes
mysterious or
sense.
alien tech.
But I
Yeah.
just feel like it, and the movie proves that it doesn't care. I feel like it undersells his karate abilities.
Yes.
Also his sort of chi powers that he learns from his aunt
Yes.
in a fight that, I know it's his aunt, but it's a pretty flirty fight. It's kind of a flirty fight.
It is a little flirty.
But I think it undersells his karate powers. But you and I, we both knew he was going to get the rings the whole time.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he gets the rings, that's the only important thing about him.
Yeah.
So Wong comes to a restaurant to interrupt him because we got to check out these rings. And I'm going to get Hulk and I'm going to get Captain Marvel, and we're all going to check out these rings. So I
Yeah.
like the fact that they exist in this weird place in between technology and magic, because that's comic accurate.
Yeah, right.
But I hated the fact that the only reason they cared about him, you have these crazy rings. Welcome to the club. Now you're a superhero. Not because you can kick better than anybody else, or you have I'm assuming, growing power of elemental chi fighting
Right.
abilities, and you saved us all from a soul-sucking tentacle dragon.
Yeah,
Not
and
any
your
of those
father.
things. You got a bunch of rings.
Yeah.
So you're in the club.
Yep.
That's like power racism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They're
Meanwhile, they got Hawkeye.
Yeah, I know. They're overlooking the individual for the magical item that he has. Yeah. It's frustrating. But
yeah.
yet Katie got to come along like she was a hero too.
Daredevil's just a guy that can hear real good.
I know.
And then he gets punched in the head
He's
50
got
times.
billy clubs.
I can hear
Yeah.
the blood leaking out of my nose.
I know.
But yeah, so anyway, and then also, Katie's a hero for some reason. Whatever.
Which I'm like,
it's
okay,
Awkwafina. She's just
whatever.
going to be in every one of these.
It's fine.
That was, I don't know, They marveled it up, didn't they?
Yep.
They took Shang-Chi and they marveled the hell out of it.
There were so many elements in this. There was maybe too many. Not to mention the fact, I just want to mention real quick that the tentacle evil thing they fought at the end was basically fought by a mystical Chinese dragon that protected.
Oh no, they
city.
stripped mined Iron Fist. I think they have left Iron Fist in the dust. You'll go out by the back of the Marvel building, look at their dumpster, and you'll find half of Iron Fist.
Yeah,
I think they're done with Iron Fist.
I mean, the dragon was cool, but who's really saving us? Is it Shang-Chi or is it the dragon?
They're like, so Shang, can I call you Sean?
Yeah.
You got the dragon's number?
Yeah, seriously.
Have the dragon join the Avengers?
Yeah, right.
Get him a big giant helmet that comes over the dragon's head.
Well, I think it was a female dragon because they were talking about how she is the protector and she gave them long life. But if
Yin-yang.
but if she leaves at the end, which I think you and I talked about off air, it seems like she leaves the village. Does that mean that they don't live forever anymore, too?
Good question.
Yeah.
I feel like the entire idea of the magical village was very much not explained.
No, it was not. It was not. I thought it was cool. I thought the bamboo maze thing was cool.
Iron Fist lives in a magical village.
Yeah, that's true.
That you can't get to all the time.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah, they just stripped it for Iron Fist is up on blocks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's going to get karate chopped with the 10 rings. So that's what's going to happen there.
Your punches are like lace curtains.
Yeah. So what was the? Do you think that the end credit scene was setting up? Like what quest was Wong sending them on? Do you know?
Was it a quest or were they just paying off that funny joke?
Oh well, I guess they were just kind of paying off.
Yeah.
Doing karaoke. Yeah. Okay.
Funny joke.
Funny joke.
Actually, in Crazy Rich Asians, there is an Asian pipeline, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the one couple or the one person sees her at the coffee shop with what's his name.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, oh, they must be getting engaged. And it goes through the Asian pipeline.
Well, that's
they
true.
They do all know each other.
You stop it.
Thanks, movies. Thanks for the education.
Wow.
Would you recommend this?
Yes, because I'm a Marvel completionist, and I've done this to myself. But I mean, I think also yes, because I support an Asian, supported like film. I just wish it was better. That's not really selling it, but I wish it was better. How about you?
Yes, I recommend it. It's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right?
I would agree.
It's like I went to a Chinese buffet. Should I continue?
No, you shouldn't.
Okay, I'm not going to continue.
And you got Mandarin chicken.
Okay, all right. It's like I went to a restaurant and I ordered something because it's like, I got like a sandwich, like the Monte Cristo or something. Mm-hmm. I don't eat Monte Cristo, it's a bad example, but and it's like, oh boy, can't wait for this. And they bring it to you. It's like, we do it different. We've deconstructed the Monte Cristo.
Right.
So there's ham over here
and
here, and we're going to blow the powdered sugar in your face. And it's like, they're giving me what I asked for, but it's not what I want.
Yeah.
And so there are many moments in the film that were very exciting. I didn't come to this movie for a giant like dragon fight with a dragon ball ending. Yeah. But like that sequence was incredible.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in a long time that I was watching a movie and going, why isn't this in 3D? Like this should be in 3D.
Yeah.
Especially with all the people be throwing up in their seats, all the moving around and the fights and the camera angles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I did not expect this from them. So I'm both a little bit disappointed, but intrigued to see where they take this character in the future. And they will. It made $70 million this weekend.
Yeah. Nothing
actually, it's going to make $85 million over the 4-day Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, cool.
Which, I know all the numbers are a little lower because it's pandemic times, but that is close to Black Widow's take. Okay. And it's more than F9's take. So this is a success.
Okay, yeah.
A flat-out success.
Yeah, for sure.
So we will see more in the future.
Good.
I just wonder where they're going to take it. And gosh, if they just got like Corey Yen or just somebody who's like, our real deal, like Hong Kong action stunt coordinator.
I know.
Instead of the guy from Rush Hour to like do all the stuff.
Yes, I say don't skimp on that. Have more actual martial. I mean, Simu Lee is a martial arts performer, and Tony Leung as well, and like a lot of other people that are in the films, and like Michelle Yeoh. Like, feature them, show off their skills.
Yeah.
You know, awe us with their skills instead of the flashy CGI that is not as exciting when it really comes down to it.
Yeah. But ultimately, I mean, yeah, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to complain about it, though.
Oh, that's fair.
You know, it's another messy Marvel origin, and maybe they'll have a great, sophomore effort.
I hope so.
Shang-Chi 2 will be the one to see.
Yeah.
With the 20 rings.
Yes.
Do you know that Wen and Wu are a pair of Chinese philosophical concepts?
Really?
Wen is diplomacy or
Okay.
civility, and Wu is war. So Wen and Wu is like the carrot and the stick in Chinese philosophy or in Chinese like statehood. The idea of when to use civility, when to rely on political acumen,
Okay.
and when to attack is an
Okay.
idea. And I think that's where the guy's name comes from.
That makes sense.
Because it's
You
not
know?
what we thought before. It was Zhang Zhu or whatever, like the Ed Brubaker. Was it Brubaker?
I don't know.
The
answer.
new identity they came up with
Oh.
in the comics that wasn't
Yes.
Fu
okay.
Manchu.
Yeah.
But he's dead, so who cares?
Yeah.
Just
I
like
know.
why? As the thing was wrapping up, I'm like, how can we keep this guy alive? How can we do it? We don't have to.
Yeah.
How can we keep Tony Leung alive? It ate his soul. They met. Bodies don't decay in Magic Land or whatever. So
Well-
maybe his soul can get out in the future and he'll come back.
Well, like, he could have gifted the rings to Shang-Chi a little bit sooner, and then Shang-Chi could have used the rings to kill the tentacle thing, and then his soul doesn't completely go into the tentacle monster and he's alive. Also, Awkwafina has to be there, and she has to be pivotal, so she learned how to shoot an arrow like the day before, and she kills the tentacle
But she learned a lesson.
monster.
She learned that when you aim at nothing, you hit nothing.
I mean, I think that that's important and true and can be applied to a lot of things in life. Like, you have to have goals, but it doesn't mean you're going to hit the throat of a tentacle monster. It just, that those don't correlate, you know? Anyways.
Trapdoor was a man. I mean, he was a dragon man. Or maybe he was just
If you aim at nothing, you won't hit the throat of a tentacle monster. I think that's what we've learned here
Yeah,
today.
I think so too.
Follow us on social media at Just Enough Trope, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and tell us what you thought of Shang-Chi. And join us on our Discord and talk about it there as well, because we're always talking about this kind of stuff. Also, you can find us on your listening platform of choice. If you haven't already, subscribe to us. That'd be really nice.
Yes.
You can also give us a rating and a review because, geez,
That always helps.
just need it.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps us move up in the ranks, and people see our podcast and they're like, oh, what's that? I'm going to check that out. It just helps us get noticed more.
It really does. That's how the computers know that we're doing a good job. And honestly, that's what we need.
Yes.
Got to please those computers.
The computer overlords.
What is it about the computers?
They know
just-
too much.
They just won't let it go, will they?
No.
Yeah. So to that end, give us a nice review. Give us 5 Dijongs.
Okay.
Sounds like mustard, but
It
it's
does.
not. Dijong is the 6-legged, 6-winged, faceless creature from Chinese mythology.
Oh, okay, great. So the creatures that were horrible, yeah,
Horrible?
the monsters.
It's cute.
It's cute.
Little abomination.
Oh wait, is that the
Morris.
Oh, Oh, sorry. I thought that was the tentacle thing.
No, those
no.
aren't a thing. I don't think.
Dijon, Morris, those were cute.
Yeah.
With their no faces.
Little tribble, basically.
Basically.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
Little wings.
Sue him, Paramount.
Wow.
Give us 5 stars. We'll be back next week to talk about something else, and until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mika
Keep
Hana.
the geek fires burning.
And the truck door comes in the night.